What's going on, everybody? It's episode 72 of the Cinephellas Podcast. I'm here with my mates Logan and Nile. What's going on, guys? What's new?
Man, we've been wild lately.
I know, it's been really wild. I went to Target. That's wild.
I went to Menards and got some stuff for the yard and did some yard work, so life has been pretty crazy here.
Yeah, and you got a flamingo shirt on. I got to ask, where did you get that shirt?
Old Navy. Old Navy, yeah. They got
Old Navy. I got to check them out more often.
Honestly, 90% of my clothes are from Old Navy because they're super cheap and they're stylish. I like them.
Yeah.
So they're like tank tops and like shirts like this. Broke man like myself, I can afford it.
Okay. And you got some Goonies posters you were showing us earlier.
Yeah, I got that back at C2E2 and some other posters. I got to frame them. I've got like 10 up on the stairway here, so I got to add a few more.
I love that, going down the stairs. It's really cool.
Yeah, going downstairs to the Cinephellas Studios, they got posters on both sides of the walls, and I got them all over here.
Do you only keep them in the studios, or do you put them throughout the house?
Just down here. They won't let me put them upstairs.
Oh, so Molly's just taking them down one by one?
Yes, pretty much. I can't put them up. I want to. We have a big gallery wall, and I want to do like all movie posters, but not going to happen.
Oh, is it like family pictures? I don't need these family pictures.
Yeah, family pictures and like pictures of places.
He's outnumbered 3-1. So
Yeah, I live with three women, so
yeah.
yeah, I'm outvoted. I can't do it, but yeah, down here is my domain, so it's all movie posters.
Finally this week.
Yeah, I got that too. I got it from GameStop.
Logan got it too. I ordered mine on Amazon a long time ago. Pre-ordered it. And it finally came. The Child from The Mandalorian. Pretty cool. I want the like $100 animatronic one. That sounds pretty cool. Where like actually moves and.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It looks cool.
Yeah, I got.
That'd be a cool thing to have, but.
I got the Sideshow collectible Baby Yoda, the Child, coming in the mail probably in October. It's like the 4-foot tall one.
Wow.
Like, they're really like detailed, made by artists. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm a little behind. I still have Baby Groot. Nobody cares about him anymore.
No, not until they put out. They need to put out another Guardians movie.
Yeah. And speaking of Guardians, the actress who plays Mantis, it's her birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Cool.
James Gunn put something on Instagram actually earlier today saying, oh, happy birthday. And I'm not sure if it's an Easter egg, but he put her name. I can't pronounce her name right now. But then he wrote Suicide Squad after it. So I'm like, oh, is she in Suicide Squad?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. A nice crossover there. Yeah, that would fit in perfectly, really. The Guardians and Suicide Squad, they're kind of the same, one and the same ragtag group of heroes, you know?
Oh, yeah, he's going to do it. He said he's going to do it the same.
I mean, they're both misfits, you know, the outcasts.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I'm excited to see Suicide Squad. His touch on it. I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. His visual style will fit in perfectly with that, I think.
And that and the music, you know, that's what it's known, or he's known for in his movies.
Yeah, his soundtracks, for sure.
Yep. Got a lot of entertainment news, actually. There's been a lot of stuff going on in Hollywood, finally. That's good.
know,
a lot of
Things
stuff.
are heating up. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, I'm like, every day I'm checking news. There's like a bunch of stuff. I'm like, wow, it's about time. It's only been like
Absolutely.
3 months.
Yeah, it feels like we've been like in a movie coma almost for a couple months. It's like, all right, come on, let's get some more news besides everything getting pushed back a couple of years, you know?
Yeah, I got to the point where I wasn't even checking anymore movie websites.
Yeah.
I'm like, everything's canceled. It doesn't matter. And now it's just like
weeks it was.
lots of news, lots of headlines and stuff. Yeah, every day it seems like. One of the big stories that came out are pictures. LeBron James released the first image of the upcoming Space Jam 2 film.
Yes,
the logo.
and welcome to the jam. Yeah.
Yep. The Space Jam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the logo looks cool. It's all retro looking, like from the 90s. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I just hope
like an updated
LeBron
logo.
James is a better actor than Michael Jordan, hopefully.
Yeah.
Michael definitely just played himself, that's for sure. But yeah, kind of cheesy, but it worked for back in the day, for that kind of era. Everybody was kind of cheesy, you know. Nobody.
I love that movie.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I haven't watched it in 20 years. I need to rewatch it with my kid.
I did last month just because I saw that it was going to be on Netflix. I tried to catch it, and I caught it like the first weekend it got put up. I don't know if it's still there or not.
Okay, I'll check it, see if it's still on there.
You know, it has like that 90s steez, and it's like a classic in my opinion.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. From what I remember, all the NBA stars and Bill Murray, you know,
Yeah,
classic.
Monster.
Yeah,
Grandma, Muggsy Bogues.
yeah,
Chicken
Grandma
Ewing.
Larry Johnson. He was my favorite basketball player as a kid. I loved him. Him and MJ, obviously, but Grandmama from the Hornets. He was cool.
You know,
Yeah, that was
speaking
a
of
fun
Michael
one.
Jordan, Henry, did you check out that Netflix thing, or is it on Netflix? The Michael Jordan.
Oh, the ESPN doc. Yeah, I was going to talk
ESPN.
about that actually. Yep, The Last Dance. Yeah, it's a 10-part series. They aired the first two a couple weeks ago, and then the second two last week. So yeah, it's been really, really good, really interesting. Last week we got to see like the whole Rodman story about how crazy he was when he got there and his like off-court shenanigans. But basically the takeaway from that was like as much as he was crazy, like off the court, like once he was there and practicing at the games, like he was just on. They didn't ever have to worry about it. It was just a matter of like getting him to make it to the games. And like at one point he requested to get 48 hours off because he wanted to go to Vegas and just let loose because I guess he was playing kind of shitty. And they were like, they were basically like, yeah, you have 48 hours. Go ahead and do whatever you want. And so him and Carmen Electra were dating at the time. So they went to Vegas and I guess he was just drinking and partying for the 2 days. And then like 3 days went by and 4 days and he still wasn't back with the Bulls. So
Jeez.
Jordan flew to Vegas and basically found them in his hotel room and said, hey, it's time to come back. And like after that, I guess they just played like great. Like he got it out of his system. And after that, he was just like on fire, like all the rebounds. And like they just clicked after that.
So he had to get like really messed up and party in order to play the game.
Yeah, he just had so much like pent up like anxiety, I guess, from everything. And he just needed to let loose. And apparently whatever he did worked because when he got back, they just like clicked. But yeah, it's a really interesting story. And then the fourth episode was all about Phil Jackson, like his origins, how he was a college player before. He was a big hippie. He took a lot of acid in the 70s. And then as he transitioned from playing into the coaching, he kind of took that whole like Zen philosophy that he kind of acquired when taking acid and he like incorporated it into basketball, like getting the team gelled together. And then it showed like him and Tex Winter, who was like the big playmaker for the Bulls at that time that Jerry Krause also hired. Like Phil Jackson wasn't the coach at first. It was Doug Collins. And Phil Jackson would just basically sit on the bench with the other guy, Tex Winter, and like go over all the plays in that triangle defense that they became known for. So it was like a really in-depth look into how they like just how everybody in that whole Bulls organization was just like one. Like everybody was connected. They didn't do anything separate. Everything on the court, they were focused and just like, yeah, it made me think of back in the day watching them and just how special that team was really. So yeah, it's been a really interesting look and it's got all the behind the scenes. It's got about how Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas like still hate each other to this day. Like they had them both on arguing about basically when the Bulls finally eclipsed the Pistons had won the championship and beat them like several years in a row. And it always ate at MJ. And then when MJ and the Bulls finally beat the Pistons that one year, the Pistons walked off the court without shaking their hands after the game. And they're like, just like Jordan always remember that. And like, yeah, still to this day, they like hate each other. He's basically like, yeah, that was the worst like show of sportsmanship. And he's like, yeah,
Right.
He basically said he hates him. So
Wow.
yeah, it shows all the drama too. It's pretty cool, but yeah, great series. And I think the next 2 episodes are on tonight. So Last Dance, it's on ESPN right now. Then it'll be on Netflix, I think, after it's all over. So
Okay.
Good to know. Yeah, I don't have ESPN, but I want to watch it.
One thing I always notice with Michael Jordan is his whiskey glass is always full.
Yes, he is drinking whiskey during the documentary, and you can tell it's like getting him to open up about stuff that he had talked about before. So it's
to get him to talk, you got to get him to drink, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
It's the meme of him crying.
Yeah. Crying. Yeah. I guess the newest episode, one of the episodes that come on today, gets into the bit about how Kobe played with him. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
With Kobe just passing away pretty recently. So, and I know they had a unique bond and they were real close. So that'll be interesting to see. We also got to hear from other Bulls like Horace Grant back in the day. Like you see them now. They're all like in super good shape for their age. Like B.J. Armstrong still basically looks the same. He's a little guy. He's got like gray in his hair, but he still basically looks exactly the same.
He always looked like a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much Michael Jordan looks the oldest out of everybody. It's kind of weird, even though he doesn't look bad or anything. But you can, Pippen looks exactly the same.
Pippen looks the same. Yeah, he never aged.
It's all the drinking he does. Maybe the cigars too.
Yeah, probably. It either preserves you or ages you.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check it out. So that's good, man. It sounds really awesome. Like really well done.
It's a great documentary.
And with Space Jam 2, Don Cheadle is apparently the villain in the movie.
I like that. Yeah,
nice.
I love Don Cheadle. He's awesome.
Me too.
Yeah,
it's going to be really good.
He's a good actor.
I don't think they should go the same route with, it's the Monstars winning a rematch for some reason 20 years later. I think they need to go with like a different direction. Maybe, Don Cheadle, I'm assuming he's going to be like a human villain. So maybe something more with people this time and not so much the aliens and the cartoon characters. Right.
What if Don Cheadle gets all in basketball shape and he goes one-on-one with MJ? Or
LeBron, yeah.
Yeah.
Dunks on him.
He's in his War Machine suit.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't stop LeBron, though. He'll stop you even if you have the suit on. Yeah, I love Don Cheadle. I think it's fun. I mean, let's see another Space Jam. There's not any high expectations or anything. But
I don't know. Like, I don't know if kids will watch it even knowing what the first Space Jam is because it's so old.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Classic for them.
Yeah, kids today are like, "What's Space Jam?" Well, like, unless their parents show it to them, they're not going to know.
Yeah,
kids today just don't understand.
They don't understand.
Yeah,
but Hollywood cashing on nostalgia. This is going to be a good one. I got faith in it. I'll check it out.
I'll check out LeBron.
Oh, King James! Lord have mercy.
And they'll throw the dust in the air like, that's whatever that thing is. So with what was it? He posted on Instagram the cover of the script for Mallrats 2, and it's called Twilight of the Mallrats.
Cool.
And Mallrats has been in he's like a crazy dude because he changes so much stuff. At one point, he wanted to do a sequel with his daughter called Mallbrats, where it's the same as the first one with two, I guess, teenage girls. And then he wanted to make it a TV series. So now he's saying it's just going to be a movie, and it's going to be Twilight of the Mallrats. And he did say certain characters are going to come back.
And you said Bruce Campbell's first to get cast?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. That was on some websites like Joe Blow and some other stuff. Apparently, Bruce Campbell is the first one to join the cast, and he's actually really interested in doing it. I think he's going to be like what the Stan Lee cameo was in the first movie.
Okay, cool. I'm all on board with that. Kevin Smith, Mallrats 2, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I love Mallrats. That's like the ultimate 90s movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I need to rewatch that too. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what to really expect though, because Kevin Smith is one of my favorite directors of all time, but like his last couple of movies, I don't know, like they were okay.
Right.
I hated.
Do you listen to his podcast at all, Nile?
Yeah, Fat Man on Batman. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fat Man on Batman. Yep. Him and Mark Bernard and I listen to them all the time at work. It's always fun to listen to. It's just them like talking about movies. Mark will present the news, and then like they'll get fan questions at the end, and the fans will ask them like, "Do your dream cast." I remember like the last podcast, one fan asked if you could switch the DC with the Marvel cast, like who would you cast? Like from Marvel into DC, like who would be Batman? And then they did the Marvel movies, which is pretty cool, interesting to hear their thoughts on everything.
No, they have a great podcast, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun podcast for sure. And he talked a little bit about the Mallrats script. He said he'd finished that, and he said that he's going to keep working on like a second draft of it. And he's also working on Moose Jaws, I guess, which is a sequel from one of his other films. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like a trilogy.
Yeah.
It's Tusk, and then Yoga
Hosers. And
then this is like the third film.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen the movie Red State. Logan, you would probably like it.
Yeah, awesome movie. Awesome movie.
I actually really like the movie, yeah. I hate the ending, though.
Yeah.
Because it's just John Goodman telling us what happened, and it's like, dude, show it, don't tell it.
Democrat, Republican, kind of.
Yeah, it's political, yeah.
But it was a good movie up until John Goodman sitting there for 15 minutes and talking to us about how it ends.
Yeah.
So they didn't get the ending right.
Yeah, but he actually really does make good horror movies when he wants to, I guess.
I think he does. I love Tusk. I remember seeing that. That was one of the
That
first.
was a crazy one, yeah.
Yeah,
When I used to work for Nerd Locker in Vegas, that was like one of the first movies I had to review was Tusk. And I saw it like 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was me and some other guy in the theaters. Never forget it. And I like really loved the movie. I'm like, this is fucking bizarre.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Yeah.
I wish he went into the more horror direction because now he's kind of going back to what he did already.
Right.
Yeah.
Ever since his heart attack, he's got really nostalgic.
Yeah. He's like, I'm alive. I want to revisit these characters and stories, and which is
cool. I don't know if you saw his last movie, Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I haven't. I wanted to.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it good?
I watched it. I got baked and watched it. Yeah, pretty good for nostalgia's sake. Not as good as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but definitely worth watching. Even if you're like, not really paying too much attention, it's fun to just throw up on in the background.
The background.
Yeah, cool cameos. Couple, I guess.
A lot of cameos.
Not really though. Ben Affleck's back. Matt Damon shows up. Yeah, and there's a whole new which they call Chronic Con in it, and they have some good cameos out of that too. So yeah, not great or anything, but still fun just to see that universe all these years later. Everybody's getting older. They had a smaller budget on this one, but still decent and worth the watch, I thought.
Yeah, because it was put out through Saban Films, so we get the press for all that stuff. The Katrina Wan PR. So that was one I wanted to get like an interview for, but never heard back. So
yeah, and Jeff Anderson was supposed to be in Jay and Silent Bob reboot, but apparently he didn't want to do it anymore.
Huh?
Or why?
Maybe he read the script.
Yeah,
he was like, nope.
That's the most likely reason right there. You nailed it.
Black Widow 2 was supposed to come out this week.
Yeah.
When I said Black Widow 2, I meant the first Black Widow.
Yeah, I know you meant.
The only one.
Black Widow, because there's so many sequels. Thor 5.
Yeah.
Black Widow. Yeah, honestly, I was super stoked for this because I don't know much about this character. Honestly, like the backstory of Natasha. So I love the cast in this movie, and I was really pumped for this. And obviously, we haven't had a Marvel movie in a while. So I was really pumped for
it. It
this.
looks fun, yeah. David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, Florence Pugh. The cast was great, and it looked fun.
Yeah, it looks like.
I guess it takes place before everything we've seen before of Black Widow, right?
It takes place in between a Civil War.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's been between. So she's already an Avenger. Gotcha. I wonder if they're from the looks of it, from it being a family kind of film, I'm sure we'll probably see maybe some stuff even before. I'm guessing just to show like the family dynamic, maybe.
Definitely, yeah. More of her Russian side, because in the comics she actually is very Russian. She speaks Russian and whatnot. So I would like to see more of that side.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to David Harbour on a podcast, and he said he had to learn a little Russian for it. So maybe we'll get some dialogue from all of them. See how good or bad the Russian dialogue is. So far, from what I've heard, it sounds pretty bad, but it's kind of hard to do unless you live there, right?
Yeah. I love that cast. They're all fantastic. Florence Pugh is one of my new favorite actresses, and Rachel Weisz. I love Rachel Weisz for 20
You loved
years.
Rachel Weisz forever, yeah.
Yeah, long time.
The
long
Fountain.
Time. And, The Fountain. I forgot about that. Is she still married to what's his name? The director, Darren Aronofsky.
I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like I've read something about it, and I want to say yes, but I could be wrong. Who knows with everybody that gets divorced nowadays?
Yeah,
but I think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was a good movie. She's a great actress. I loved her in The Mummy, the one with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, she was. She was really good in that.
Whatever happened to Brendan Fraser?
He's still acting.
He is?
Yeah. He was in it was a Hulu show or FX show recently. What was that?
Oh, I don't know what that one is.
Totally
I saw him on the Showtime show The Affair. He was on one season as like a prison guard.
Yeah, he's still acting. He's not like a A-lister anymore. He's in TV shows, gained a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just hope he's not sitting at home like, oh man, they're gonna call me up for The Mummy 4 and see no man.
Yeah,
he's all bloated.
One of these days, they're going to do it. Pauly Shore.
We'll bring back Pauly Shore or something.
Nah, I feel
Pauly
bad.
Shore's in good shape, though, because he owns the Comedy Store now.
Oh, does he? I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know how in good shape it is now, but I'm pretty sure they had quite a bit of money even saved up before the whole pandemic. But yeah, his mom, Mitzi Shore, started the Comedy Store in California. It's like one of the most famous ones in the world, if not the, and like all the best comics are at
In
that.
Hollywood.
Yeah, Pauly Shore owns it. So yeah,
Nice.
he still has. He's still doing well. You know, he's not in a lot of movies or anything, but I think he has a podcast. I'm pretty sure he has his own one. But yeah, Pauly. He still looks pretty good for his age.
The Weasel.
The Weasel. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. We went from Scarlett Johansson to Pauly.
The transition.
We're just keeping everybody all up to date on the old washed up actors.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to Brendan?
Fraser. Who's going to round out this trilogy of bad actors?
No, but with like Black Widow, I think it's going to come out in November.
November, man.
That's a good thing. Hey, at least it's this year. Everything's getting pushed back a year, 2 years. At least we got something later this year to look forward to, right?
Yeah, especially during the holidays. You know, that's a great time to put out a movie. People are going to be going to the movies with their families. If we can go to theaters, then who knows?
Well, we might be able to go just like with a mask or something.
Yeah, looking like Scorpion or Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Get over here.
If we have to go too much longer, I want to get a Bane one. It looks like Bane's mask.
Cinephellas
I am Harvey's Rotterdam.
But some people will say, like with Black Widow, that movie could have came out maybe 5 years ago. But either way, I'm just happy we're getting it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a good bridge. It's a good bridge into the next phase. You know, don't throw us right into a whole new story, but sort of ease our way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And because Black Widow is like easily one of my favorite female characters, and Scarlett Johansson is probably like my second favorite actress.
Yeah. She's been doing it a long time.
Yeah, and people forget that she's actually a really good actress too.
She
Like,
was
she's more than just Black Widow.
She was great. What was it, Ghost World? She did when she was like probably a teenager. She was super young.
Yeah.
Good independent flick.
Or even
And,
Marriage Story.
The Piano, right? Was her like first one, I think, with Adrian Brody.
Pianist, maybe?
No, I think
That's Anna Paquin.
Shit, I was thinking of the wrong person. She was in something when she was really young, and it was like really acclaimed. I can't remember what it is now.
Home Alone 3.
How about I just look it up, boys? Hold on.
I know she was in Home Alone 3. Let me check too.
She was. I did watch that film, but I can't remember anything from it. I just remember it was some little brat other than Macaulay, and it didn't work.
Oh, Logan, I was going to ask you guys, who are your favorite female action stars since Black Widow's not coming
The
out?
Horse Whisperer. That's what it was.
Okay, I'm seeing those two, yeah.
Yeah.
Old school, Sigourney Weaver. New one, Samara Weaving. Sigourney Weaver, Samara Weaving. That's kind of weird. I just thought of that.
Yeah.
I love Samara Weaving. She's like one of my new favorite actresses. Other actresses I really like, Florence Pugh, Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. I think she's a badass. And then the actress from It Follows. What's her name?
Micah Monroe.
Micah Monroe. There you go. Those are my choices. I
All
think
right, cool. Good choices, man.
they're all fantastic.
Very solid. I throw in Margot Robbie. She's relatively new and just kills it. She's great and everything. She hasn't had a bad role yet. Let's see. Let me think here. That's a good question. Lily Collins is pretty good. Phil Collins' daughter, Baby Driver. She's been in a couple other things. I really think Julia Garner from Ozark is going to kill it. She'll be a big movie star.
Good one.
Yeah, she's really good. I'm trying to think. So yeah, definitely those. And I had one other in mind now. I can't think of it. But Shailene Woodley's been good. The girl from Booksmart has been in a bunch of good stuff. The younger girl, not Jonah Hill's sister, but the other one, has been in a bunch of shows like Justified. She was really good in, and then she's been in a bunch of movies lately.
She's in a
she's rumored for the Last of Us movie casting for Ellie.
Yeah.
So if she gets that, then she'll be big. Which movie were you talking about, Logan?
She's in some new independent film coming out. I just saw a Collider interviewed her about something coming out. I can't think of the name of it. Caitlin something? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Caitlin Deaver or something?
Dever? Yeah, Caitlin Deaver.
Beavers. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Did I say Beaver?
Beaver. Leave it to Beaver, boys.
I heard Justin Bieber. I don't know.
For me, my favorite actress is Pam Grier. That'll always be my favorite actress. And then I guess more modern, Scarlett Johansson. And I'm trying to think of my favorite final girl from a horror movie. That's a tough one for me. Maybe because I don't know. I guess Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Heather Langdon.
Langenkamp.
I want to meet her. She was at one of the Florida's super cons, and I'm like, oh, missed opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's been at some cons lately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another one I thought of, what's her name? Jane Levy? She's
yeah.
Evil Dead. She was in Castle Rock. She's been a bunch of stuff. Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
Don't Breathe? Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She started on Shameless, remember? She was the original man.
The original, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love her. She's a great actress. She's on my list.
I think Mika Monroe and Jane Levy could be like this generation's, I guess, final girls, in all those horror movies.
Absolutely. Yeah. Keep putting out horror flicks and just having female-driven final girl, Samara Weaving, too. Yep. Yeah.
What happened to Taylor Scott Compton from the Halloween movies, and then maybe even from the new Halloween movie, the Andy Matichak?
I don't like Andy Matichak, honestly. I didn't really care for her in the movie.
Yeah, maybe in the next one. Sure.
Yeah, maybe in the next one maybe it was the way she was written. I just didn't really care for her. She was kind of bland.
Right. Yeah.
So, Logan, what is the last Halloween movie you actually really liked?
Last Halloween movie I actually liked?
Yeah, Michael Myers, yeah.
The first Rob Zombie one.
Okay.
That was probably the last one I liked. Yeah, because I didn't like the part Halloween 2 that he did, or obviously the new one. The one from 2008.
You might like Halloween films around here.
Wow, that's a collection. Wow.
That is on my list. I could never find that.
It's the box set.
It's hard to find. They'll do a 4K restore of all of them.
But yeah, there's going to be a 4K, and I'm going to have to double, triple dip. Logan got me 2 copies of the original Halloween. He got me the 35th anniversary and the 4K version, and then the box set. And then I had another version of the original Halloween, and then the newer Halloween I had to get just to add to the collection. But yeah, we definitely love our Halloweens. I'd say the last one that I really, really liked, that's a good question.
But yeah, like in the original, not Rob Zombie, I would say the last one I really enjoyed was Part 6. Curse of Michael Myers, the Paul Rudd. That was awesome.
That was different than the rest.
It was like super dark.
I remember going to the movie theater it was at the mall with my brother when they used to have it in Cherryville Mall there.
Yeah.
And I just saw the poster. I didn't even know it was out or anything. I'd never seen a trailer.
It
was
no marketing.
1996, no marketing. I was like, let's go see this one. I didn't know Paul Rudd was going to be in it. And I was like, wow, this one was really cool,
dark.
Actually. Yeah.
That was like the Thorn trilogy, Part 4, 5, and 6, where we got like the occult and all the weird stuff going on. Right. But the first 3 are obviously my favorites. I even love Part 3 now. Part 4 was good, and Part 5 was terrible. Part 6 was good. Didn't like the new one.
When I went to Halloween Horror Nights, I think maybe 2 years ago, they actually had Halloween 5 as like one of the mazes to go in. The maze was pretty good, but I do remember the movie not being that great.
Yeah, I remember. Wasn't the part in the barn where he had, I don't know what you call it, Henry, that thing for the corn, that long thing, the children of the corn?
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that thing.
Yeah. The hook-looking thing with the
hook. Yeah. That's what I remember from that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, silly. Silly.
Yeah. And the mask was bad, and like the body.
Yeah.
He looked like a fat white guy.
Like the slick back hair. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. Looked terrible.
Yeah.
And the new one, it's an older guy, but at least he looks menacing, You still wouldn't want to mess with him.
Yeah, senior citizen Michael Myers, yeah.
The walker.
They're saying in the new one, some news has been released from, James Jude Courtney was talking about it a little bit and said it was going to be little bit more violence in the next one, a little bit more gritty. We're going to see some gore.
Scarier, yeah.
It ups the ante. So at least we've seen some sort of.
They always say that.
Everything, yeah.
They always say that. We'll see.
Because they think guys like us, they think we just want blood and gore, but behind that, we would like a nice story.
We want a good story and some good characters we fucking care about.
Yeah.
Not there's
some blood and boobs thrown in there or whatever, yeah.
Right, exactly. Come on.
That's too much.
Not two mumbling cops talking about what they're going to eat for dinner. What was that about? I had the new one. It was stupid.
I think they were trying to go for comedy, I think.
Yeah, I was like, what is this, Judd Apatow? Or
I liked in part 2 the cheesy EMT guys that were just looking to bang.
Yeah. What about Bud in Halloween 2? It was funny.
Bud, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping with the new Halloween Kills, they do a lot of the old school stuff from part 2, Halloween 2. They go back to the Head Memorial.
It looks like she is, yeah, from the logo. So it looks like we'll see it in some sort. And it looks like she's going to, Jamie Lee's going to go to the hospital. So, yeah, we'll see some Haddonfield Memorial, which we saw in the Rob Zombie films, but it was kind of like the mind trip of a Halloween 2.
Remember the guy that played Jimmy in part 2, Halloween 2?
Yeah.
Lance Guest. Wouldn't it be cool if he showed up in the new movie? He never died. Remember?
That's right. Yeah, he should still be around.
Slipped, but he never died. Wouldn't he?
Yeah.
If he showed up in the new movie, that'd be badass.
Yeah, that is like the last we saw of him, right? He slipped.
Yeah. You never saw him again. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
It's what I think about late at night when I'm in bed.
I hope he comes back.
Yeah.
So that meme with that girl looking at the guy in the bed and she looks jealous and she's like, I think he's thinking about other girls. I just pictured Logan thinking Michael Myers the whole time.
That's the ongoing joke between Molly and I. We always have that. I'm like, he must be thinking about other women. And I'm like, whatever happened to that character in Halloween?
Yeah. It's something like entertainment related.
Yeah. That's
Nobody else understands. Yeah.
That's our joke. That's how it really is.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that. That'd be awesome if that guy showed up.
And some other movie news that came out, it only took maybe 10, 15 years. I don't know how long it's been. But Avatar 2, they have the first picture.
Sigourney Weaver looking beautiful as ever. She doesn't age.
She died in the first one. Her character did. So is it going to be a flashback or?
Did she? I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah, me too. I have it on Blu-ray, and I have not seen it since I got it way back in like 2009. I don't remember when the movie came out.
2007. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
She's
I guess
back.
I picked Sigourney Weaver, and I'm like, cool. I want to see her in more stuff. So yeah.
Good old
She
Ripley.
looks good. She's still looking good. She looks how I remembered her. How I remember her from seeing her last. Not too.
In her dreams.
Yeah.
The last thing I saw was The Defenders on Netflix. And apparently,
What was that one about?
Oh, that was the one with Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Daredevil.
Oh, right. Teamed all them up. Yeah,
Jessica Jones.
Watch those ones. I never watched Jessica Jones, even though I heard it was good. I should go back and watch those. Are they even on Netflix anymore, the Marvel stuff, or do they all move over to, or probably going to Disney Plus eventually?
They're eventually going to move to Disney Plus, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah. Did you watch The Punisher? I never got around to watching The Punisher either. I wanted to watch that.
I watched the first season, which I really like, but I didn't watch the second season.
Okay.
So I'm like, there's no point in investing in it. It's going to be canceled.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. I haven't watched any of them, so.
Oh, they're really good. You would like Daredevil.
Daredevil was the best.
I started it and I just got busy with life. I watched like 2 episodes. I'll get back into it.
No, definitely check out Daredevil. That's like the best one.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was good. I watched all 4 seasons of that. And I hope they bring him back for the movie. But I guess they asked Charlie Cox if he was going to come back, if they were going to incorporate the same Daredevil and those characters from the show. And he said he hadn't heard anything, and he was kind of sounding pessimistic about it. But he said, of course, he'd for sure be down to it, and he'd love to continue that. It was a great series, really well done, though. Definitely worth watching. Oh, it ended on the 4th season. It felt like a good finale anyway. You know, it felt like it could end there.
No, it really did. Yeah. And even the actor who plays Luke Cage, Mike Coulter, somebody asked him, "Are the characters going to come back?" And he said no. So he kind of gave up hope.
That sucks.
Yeah. But when I think about it, like those Netflix shows, they don't have the same tone as the MCU.
No.
That's true. Yeah, they're definitely way more.
Really
They seem a lot darker.
Oh yeah, a lot darker, like R-rated.
Like more like the comic, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Marvel Knights. Yeah, if you ever read those.
It's going to be interesting to see how they incorporate Daredevil into the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, into the Disney kind of. Are they
go
going
with
to let them do it the same, or is it going to be totally different? I don't know.
They're going to go with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Don't forget your fucking hockey pads.
They go with Casey. It's Casey.
Boston Harbor.
Boston Harbor, drinking some Boston Lager, drinking some Parliament.
Other entertainment news, we have the new NOS4A2 Season 2 trailer. Henry and I reviewed the pilot episode last year. We went to C2E2 in Chicago, and we saw a advanced screening of it, and we had a good time with it. So have you guys checked that out at all? What do you think?
I'm in. I watched all the first season. I thought it was, I didn't ever think like it was one of the best shows that I watch or anything, but I'm actually pumped to see the second season just to know that it jumps forward about 10 years, I think, at least. So we're going to see that. I like the character, the girl, Vic, the cool character, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from where it left off. And it looks like they made the special effects and everything, and the way they did NOS4A2 in the second season looks really cool from that little glimpse we get of them in the trailer.
Really excited for it. Looks good.
I remember I watched like the first 3 or 4 like faithfully, and then I like gave up for a few weeks, but then I binged like the last 4 or 5 in a row. So it's good as definitely good as a binge show.
I restarted it from the beginning, and I knocked out the 10 episodes in like a weekend. It was really good. Now I'm like, I should have read the book or listened to the audiobook.
I guess the second season like is all going to be new, right? Because I think there was only one book, right?
Yeah, there's only one book. So so it's all fresh material they wrote.
I wonder if Joe Hill is it Joe Hill? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's still involved with it, and then maybe he's going to do another book, you think, or something?
Not a book, but he's involved with the show, like produces it or whatever.
So has his inputs.
Yeah, I'm sure it helps with the writing process too for Charlie and all that, the script. But
speaking of Joe Hill, Logan, you would really like Hill House comics. I don't know if you've checked those out.
I haven't, but I posted it for Cinephellas. I did see that. I want to check them out because I love Joe Hill.
Yeah,
I love horror, obviously.
I have some of the comics that he has a partnership with DC Comics, and they're really good.
Awesome.
I think I'm reading Basket Full of Heads.
Nice. You have to check that out. I'm like, I have to buy them online now. I can't go to the comic book store anymore.
Yeah, DC Comics, they shut down. They're not doing any new comics.
What?
Until this thing blows over, yeah.
Jeez.
Not even digitally? They're not releasing anything digital?
From what I'm understanding, no. I think Marvel is, but it's just not the same to me.
Yeah. On the last Fat Man Beyond or Fat Man on Batman, whatever they call it, they were talking about, they had a guy from the comics, I can't remember which comic it was, but he's basically saying that comic books and the stores are going to start opening up pretty soon. And he sounded pretty optimistic about like more comics become available and business picking up. So I think in the summer months here, I think we'll start to see some more comics be released and whatnot. Slowly but surely, they'll phase it in. But yeah, it sounded like from what this guy was saying that they were gonna start rolling again pretty soon. So
no, really, because when it comes to comics and movies, it's like I'm a junkie. It's like, give it to me now. I need my stuff.
Right in the main vein here. Come on.
Other news, we've had a lot of like cast reuniting. We had the recent Goonies, which was super excited about reuniting. Everybody joining a Zoom conference call kind of thing, and reliving, making the movie and things like that. Seeing these actors 35 years after the making of the movie, which is really fantastic. Came out in 1985. So I watched the whole thing. Did you guys check that out? Or?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I got all teary-eyed. Oh my God, I love them. Brolin, seeing him, Thanos, it was awesome. Joey Pants was on it, and all the cast. It was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like Sean Astin is one of those actors where he's kind of like underappreciated.
Oh, for sure. He's a good actor. His parents are actors, so he's been in the business a long time. And I just loved it. This year they were doing the 35th anniversary. I was telling you guys about that in Astoria, Oregon, where they filmed the movie, and obviously it got canceled.
Where you've been before, right?
Yeah, one time. It was beautiful there. But it got canceled, of course, so maybe next year.
Didn't they talk about a sequel at one point, like Goonies 2 or something?
They've been talking about it for 20 years, and they just have never found the right script or the right story to make it happen. I think the cast is on board, but, Richard Donner's 90 years old now. Steven Spielberg's old, it's not going to happen, probably.
No, it's not. I don't want it to happen, honestly.
Me either. It's a classic. You're not going
Don't touch it at this point.
make that magic again,
I think it would be kind of sad to see, like, 70-year-old Sean Astin saying, "Oh, Goonies never say die. Let's go down in the well."
And he's just like, yeah. Yeah, no, we don't need a sequel.
No.
You can't remake that. It just wouldn't make sense.
I tuned in the live stream at the part where Corey Feldman was talking, and I was just like, "Jeez!" Like he started talking, like he was talking a little bit about the movie, and then he just like totally veered off and started talking about his documentary. That he made about child rape and stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. You could tell that nobody likes him. Like the rest of the cast are like, anyways. With that being said, they had other reunions. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I watched that. That was cool. The whole cast. And then
what was that all about? What happened during that?
They're just catching up, and they had like a segment about Uncle Phil or whatever. I don't know the actor's name.
I heard they had a tribute for
him, and it was really depressing and sad, and they got all teary-eyed. But it was cool.
No, it was cool because I watched the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I've seen every episode. It's like
same here. Yeah.
Classic.
Classic.
Was Carlton and the girl on it too?
Everybody except Uncle Phil.
Right.
The butler was on it.
Oh yeah.
Aunt Viv wasn't there.
Oh yeah. Aunt Viv, the first wife. Well, didn't they change wives? Right. He had two, like the actresses.
Yeah, and they don't look anything alike.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Sorry.
She hates Will Smith, in real life.
I didn't know that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How can you hate Will Smith? He's like the coolest guy ever.
Well, apparently she blames her firing on Will Smith.
Wow.
I don't want to say she's crazy, but like she did a video maybe a couple of years ago, like going live on Facebook or something saying, "I'm coming for you, Will Smith." And like,
Jeez.
And then he was like, "What did I do?"
It's like I was 16 in the show.
Yeah.
No, really, she came on and she's like, "You will not win an Oscar as long as I'm still around." Like, just really hating on the guy.
Jeez.
And I'm like, the show's like 30 years ago. Move on, lady.
Yeah, no kidding.
Lady, showing your true colors. Get real. James Avery was Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember him from License to Drive. So
was Hillary on the show? Was Hillary on there too? Yeah, he was. That's right.
Hillary, I think so.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
So was there Jeffrey the Butler?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I do like the first Aunt Viv a lot more, actually. To me, she was the better, I guess, character.
Yeah. Let's see. Show some visual cues here to remind people. So there's the original
one, yeah.
Okay.
I'll show you the new one here.
Yeah, she was the much better Aunt Viv, actually.
Yeah, I agree too. Parks and Rec did a reunion. I read.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't really watch the show, so I watched a few episodes. It's really funny, but yeah, they did the.
No, I'm the same way, Logan. Like, I'll watch the show. Like, I don't watch it like on a regular basis, but when I do see it, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's really funny. Chris Pratt, Aubrey Plaza. Yeah, they're funny as hell. A lot of great people.
Tons of people. Aziz Ansari, Nick Offerman.
Rashida Jones.
I mean, he's the best in that show, probably. Yeah, Nick Offerman.
Rob Lowe. The cast goes on and on, really, from that show. There's been a lot of stars.
Aren't they bringing it back to Netflix or something?
Peacock Network, the NBC one that's coming out.
The streaming service, yeah, they probably will.
They'll probably bring the whole series there. If there's going to be a reunion, it'll probably be through that, is what I'm guessing. Same thing with Friends. They're working on that reunion, but it got pushed back for the whole virus. It was supposed to have already been shot, I think. HBO Max is launching later this month on the 27th, I believe. A new streaming service.
Cheaper than Netflix, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. think so.
So
what was it, like $11.99?
yeah, something like that. So people may be moving over to the new service.
So that's all Warner Brothers and HBO. They bought up a bunch of stuff. We're going to have some original content coming from J.J. Abrams. He has like 3 or 4 shows in the works. He has Justice League Dark coming.
Yep.
He has The Overlook that we were talking about, and Lovecraft Country. I guess it's based on a book that recently came out. I don't know too much about the story, but it is horror, and it's from Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions.
Awesome.
Studio.
Awesome.
And I think it was a full-length trailer put out. I posted the teaser the other day, but I haven't seen the full-length trailer, so I don't really know the story too much.
Yeah, I don't either. I just saw the teaser.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good though.
The book, you just look up the book synopsis and it'll probably tell you pretty much it's a Lovecraft Country.
Well, H.P. Lovecraft, so you know it's going to be horror related. Author.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
We got a lot of stuff going on with Universal. All the major movie theaters are pulling their movies. What do you guys think about that?
So I heard a little bit about this this week on a couple of podcasts I listened to. And I don't know I know that Universal had threatened to say that, hey, we're not going to show any of these, or no, sorry, AMC had threatened saying we're not going to show any Universal pictures. But apparently there's still been some bickering back and forth between AMC and Universal. And with Fast 9 coming out next year, basically AMC has came back and said that, okay, well, we're not going to show your films, including Fast 9. That's a film you're going to want to put in theaters because it's going to get the big crowds and everything. It's going to make more money than if you just put it on VOD. So from what I heard, that Universal and AMC might sort of back off this argument, and it might not actually go through. But I guess it was just AMC at first being like, oh, well, this is kind of unfair. And then when Universal didn't back off, I would guess basically they've been kind of negotiating the whole thing. Because some movies, you're just going to have to release to the theaters because you're going to have so many people coming out. But it's kind of hard to say, though, because obviously during this quarantine, everybody's home. But is it going to be the same if you release it digitally with everybody still be able to go out and have the choice of going to the theaters too? How's that? We don't know yet. So what I foresee happening is I'm guessing that Universal isn't going to want this to happen. AMC is going to back off. They're going to want to show Universal. So I think they'll probably come to an agreement. But yeah, initially Universal or AMC is upset because this Trolls movie has gotten like made 100 million plus.
Yep.
Just from VOD. So that was what the whole argument was, that AMC wasn't getting the business. They didn't hold off. They released it to streaming services in front of the movie, and they're kind of angry about that because it was supposed to be one of the first kind of big films of the summer. And then of course it didn't happen now. So but yeah, it's kind of shitty on AMC's part. They're already doing bad. They haven't made money. They're going to have to do something to stay afloat here. So they're going to have to make some adjustments and
file for bankruptcy eventually.
If AMC were to do that, it'd be like the death of AMC, really.
Right. Yeah.
Universal puts out some good, pictures, like horror or comedy or whatever. They put out some pretty big, movies that are going to bring in a lot of people and make a lot of money.
Think about it this way too. When you get a movie on VOD or on demand or whatever, that's like, you pay for it once, but you can have like 10 people watch it in your house. But if you go to a theater, it's 10 different people buying a ticket at a time. So that's going to be money. Mm-hmm.
Right. I think Trolls did so well just because all the kids that were in the house.
Right.
Like, hey, Mom and Dad, I want to watch that again. Because when you rent it, it's like how much ever it is. So then you just keep on renting it. So Universal just rakes in every time it's rented. People rent it 6 or 7 times for their kids to watch. And
you can't go for this one movie, especially Trolls.
Yeah, if they put out like a rom-com, it's not going to make 100 million. Nobody cares.
Right.
It's going to make like 5,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently this Netflix movie with Chris Hemsworth, Extraction, is supposed to be like just gigantic. Like everybody's seen it. Like it's.
I haven't.
I've seen it.
I haven't either. How was it? Was it good, decent? Or?
No, it was pretty good actually. I like it. People are comparing it to John Wick, and if they're doing that, they need to go back and watch John Wick again. But the action in the movie is like really, really good.
Really?
It reminds me. It's like a better version of Sicario 2, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Huh. Okay. Cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I remember like reading about it and seeing it on Netflix. I'm like, I don't know.
Apparently, it's been a massive success. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth put a message out on his social media talking about it today. Like he's just, they're blown away by the amount of eyes that have been on it. I guess it's like the biggest hit Netflix has ever had for an original film being released. Yeah.
More than The Irishman and more than El Camino and wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Russo brothers are behind it too, so that's obviously a name too.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Right.
I'm gonna watch it now. I didn't even know they were attached to the movie.
Just producers. Yeah.
They produced it, so they're a big part of it.
Yeah.
Right. They threw some money behind it, and they want to make sure it's quality. With
There's
their
no
name.
change, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth is a solid actor. I love him. So, hey, you bloody blokes. Chris Hemsworth.
Guy's ripped.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, because usually Chris Hemsworth, I like him as Thor, but his other movies are okay, like Black Hat, maybe Vacation, depending on who you ask.
I like that movie. I like that movie a lot. I thought it was
like this.
I feel like this is the first movie where he's not Thor, where it's like, I actually really, really like it.
Yeah, they're talking about it being a franchise. They're talking about a sequel already. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, please do.
Extraction. Netflix.
Logan, have you seen The Platform yet?
Nope.
No, it's okay. We'll get to it.
Yeah, it's been on the queue. I don't know.
It's been on the queue gathering dust.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sorry. I'll watch it.
Put it to the front by the next podcast. You guys have been talking that for a few now. Watch it.
Okay, I will.
Not that you haven't watched like.
I've got 2 weeks. I can do it.
Okay.
Until the next one. So I will. It's a homework assignment. I will do it. I'll watch it.
Do your real homework.
For real. Do the important work. The news came out this week from the Academy. I guess they're called the Academy. The Academy Awards people, all the people that are voting and everything, they came out and changed the rules for this year. With movies not coming out in theaters, they're going straight to streaming. They're changing the rules so the movies that are first available on streaming and haven't even had their theatrical run will be eligible for the Oscars. I think there's a little caveat. I think when the theaters do open up, they're going to have to maybe show the movie in theaters at least a little portion of time. But I think the movies that have came out so far up to now, I think they're going to be eligible even though they didn't have a theatrical run. So some of these movies that are going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, like Capone, and then there's this P. Davidson, Judd Apatow film coming out to Netflix, I think in June. That's going to bypass and go to VOD too. So even films like that would be eligible, depending on how good they are. But yeah, they're changing the rules for the first time ever. This has never happened. There's special rules going on with the whole pandemic. So the Academy is going to finally allow these streaming sites and their films that are coming out. This is big for the streaming sites. Last year was really big with The Irishman, and this makes it even more legit. So from now on, it's going to be not only movies, and it's going to be stuff that comes on VOD. It's just going to be as big as quality films and everything, and the original works. They're going to be eligible for the Academy Awards from now on. So,
as they should be. They should be.
Yeah.
They put all the heart and work into the movie like everybody else. Just because it's on digital doesn't mean that disqualifies them from the Oscars. I think it's
exactly. They're finally coming around and adapting to the times. There's a lot of people I think that are on the Academy, a lot of the old school Hollywood. So as with the obviously time going on and them getting phased out and newer people getting into it, they got to adapt to the times. It just has to be done, and that's a good thing. There's going to be more, and that's going to bring more films to these streaming sites. So we're going to get more entertaining and high quality films coming to the streaming sites that we can watch at home. We don't have to go to the theaters for.
In my mind, the Academy is like a bunch of 95-year-olds that love Meryl Streep.
Right. There's money involved.
Yeah, it's all political and all right, it's 2020. Get with it.
They don't know what streaming is yet.
They're like, how do you stream on Wi-Fi?
Is this something about my incontinence?
Oh man, come on, get with it, the Academy. Digital, it's a wave of the future.
But let's not forget the theatrical either, boys.
Exactly.
They definitely should be eligible.
We've been talking about movies that have to be seen in the theater. Tenet by Christopher. Who? What's his name?
I think it's like Roland.
Roland?
Nolan?
James
Nolan.
Roland?
It's Nolan.
Christopher,
James Roland.
Christopher Nolan?
Robin?
Yeah, movies like that you have to see in theater. So if that is, released on digital, you won't have that experience.
Oh, you're talking about Tenet?
Tenet, yes. Yeah, like movies like that, it's going to be shitty watching that on digital in your bedroom or in your living room. It's not the same. You don't have the surround sound. The movie's filmed in IMAX,
From what
like
I've heard, Christopher Nolan's been pretty locked in on releasing it in July. He doesn't want to bow down and release it digitally. He says, he's got to figure that there's going to be a big drop off in the audience, but he doesn't care. He knows it's meant to be seen on the big screen. It's just how he filmed it, how all his movies deserve to be
all
seen.
his movies, yeah.
Ever since, what would you say, Batman Begins, I'd say is one of his films that you needed to see on the big screen. Everything since then, Inception included.
Yep.
Dunkirk.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that he's sticking to it. Hopefully it'll work out. That's later July, I believe. So that'll be the first. That's scheduling to be like one of the first movies that'll be back on the big screen. So hopefully they're able to stick to that, and hopefully we're able to all go watch it, support it, and it makes enough money where it doesn't have to be like a big disaster for them or anything. But considering the times, I think there's going to be some money lost. Obviously, they're just going to have to count on that. But hopefully they're able to release it in theaters like he intends it to be. So we're getting another look at him, see his acting chops before he takes on the mantle of Bruce Wayne, Batman. So that'll be cool. And then you got Denzel's son, who's like a big up and coming actor. Obviously, Black Klansman is big movie. It's going to be interesting to see him in Tenet. Looks like a pretty interesting visual spectacle again. Obviously it comes to mind Inception when watching the
Inception,
trailer.
right? Yeah.
So we'll see what new tricks Christopher Nolan has for this one. It looks like another mind-bending mystery.
Couldn't tell you what it's about, but we'll find out hopefully.
Maybe a heist kind of.
Yeah.
Looks like a heisty kind of flick. So we'll see.
Push back to 2023.
What? What is?
The movie.
Oh.
I'm kidding. They push it back.
I was gonna say no. Breaking news.
No. I'm kidding. Don't do that to us. Don't.
Yeah.
Other news: we got David Gordon Green's helming a new Hellraiser TV series for HBO. Yeah, I like Hellraiser.
So
Will it be Doug Bradley?
Yeah, hopefully. It may be too old now, but I don't know. It's supposed to be a new TV series on HBO, and David Gordon Green is directing the first episode and then a few other episodes of the TV series.
So he's the next horror icon to, I guess, be whored out on the street?
Yeah, pretty much. It seems like.
Yeah, really.
Got Halloween. You got, Hellraiser, next Nightmare on Elm Street, and all those.
Oh, is he attached to that too?
No. Could be.
Probably. Yeah. Throw his name in there.
Yeah, might as well.
Friday the 13th. Yeah.
I feel like Hellraiser is the one that I never really got into.
Yeah, it's my least favorite.
Yeah, but it's still cool though. I like it.
It's iconic, the makeup and the character, Pinhead and all that. But, the story itself, the movies themselves are not that great. They're gory and they're ridiculous, but
they remind me of B movies almost.
Yeah. I showed Molly the first few when we lived in Iowa, and she's like, "These are really bad." I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much they are." Some
And
good
they
kills.
made so many. There's some that even went straight to DVD.
Yeah, I watched another actor played Pinhead a few years ago. It was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Big bug eyes. Terrible.
Well, I would check out the TV series, honestly.
Yeah, it's HBO too, especially.
HBO, David Gordon Green. That's enough to make you want to at least catch the pilot. It'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
check it out. See what they do with it.
Right. HBO rarely goes wrong. Speaking of HBO, I'll kind of segue into another show that I've been watching during this whole quarantine that I'm finally getting around to. Of course, I love The Wire. Have both of you guys seen The Wire?
No.
Or at least some of it? No, Niall hasn't watched it.
Yeah, I have. It's awesome.
You watched at least the first three, right, or four?
First three,
Or did you
yeah.
watch all of them? Three.
First three.
Okay. So The Deuce on HBO has 3 seasons. Super interesting show. So well developed. The characters are amazing. The acting's really amazing. Basically, starts out you're in early 70s New York, where Times Square is, and it's like basically the beginning of like the whole like adult film industry. There's a lot of prostitution going on, so you got the pimps and the prostitutes. You have the mob also working with a local bar owner who's played by James Franco. He plays two roles. He plays himself and his twin brother. So there's Vincent, the bar owner of the Hi-Hat, and there's Frankie, his brother, who's kind of like a gambling kind of, he's always like scheming for the next kind of score to get money. So it's basically James Franco, and then you have Maggie Gyllenhaal, who plays one of the prostitutes. And you basically have this whole dynamic. It's like there's mob ties. The mob comes in with Vincent's character who owns the bar and sort of funds everything going from there. So basically it takes Vincent from owning this bar, he like expands it. So they open up like a place down in New York, they call a parlor, where basically people can come in and sleep with some of these prostitutes. Chris Bauer, the name's probably kind of familiar. I know you've seen this guy. He was in The Wire too. You have a lot of actors from The Wire who have come in to do this show. You have Lawrence, I want to say Gollard, but I might be wrong. But he was also in The Walking Dead. He shows up in this. There's a lot of actors that you'll notice from The Wire in this. It's from the creator of The Wire, David Simon, and the other writer, I can't remember his name, but it's super good. Maggie Gyllenhaal, one of her best roles. She was nominated for Emmy during this. James Franco kills it. Basically, his Vincent character is a lot different than the other brother, Frankie. Frankie's like the guy that's always like getting into trouble, getting into the trouble with the mob, trying to steal money, like I said, there's always a scheme. But basically, like the characters in it are amazing. Like you even feel for some of like the pimps and the prostitute characters. You feel for some of the cop characters. During this time, the cops would go down into New York. They'd take like this big thing they called a wagon. It was a big truck, like a van, basically with a big door in the back. They'd round up all the prostitutes at night and like throw them in jail for the night. And basically the pimps, they just had free reign. They were never getting arrested or anything. They had 2 or 3 girls that were making them a bunch of money. You have several actors that play the pimps that you guys might know. You have Method Man, who plays a pimp named Rodney. He's in it for a few seasons. The whole series is 3 seasons. So basically the first season, you basically follow Vincent's character. He's the main character, James Franco. And then in the second season, it goes forward about 7-8 years. And then from season 2 into season 3, it goes into the 80s. So I made it through the first 2 seasons, going into the third. The third's the last. Michael Gandolfini is another name. You guys might be familiar. Obviously, James Gandolfini was in The Sopranos. He's going to be in The Sopranos prequel as a young Tony Soprano. So he shows up in the second season. But I really can't say enough for it's like a truly like great show. If you ever watch The Wire, it's that same like quality. It like feels so real. Everything they create, the whole world there, it just feels different than other shows. And it feels like binging's the way to go. The soundtrack is really good. Each season starts out with a song like the 70s. The first season's like a 70s, like kind of like soul funk. And then towards the late 70s is a totally different thing. And then of course the 80s, you hear a Blondie song. So it's like the whole theme gets set out right from the beginning. You follow these prostitutes that Maggie Gyllenhaal eventually becomes a director for adult films. She wins like a big award in that universe. And then she gets to go on and like direct like legit films too. And then you see like this one popular adult film actress, you see her like rise and fall. You see her go through rehab and everything. It's just like it's like a journey, like a 20-year journey, just to see this period of time from how seedy New York was, and then going into the 80s, and then going into the future. You see everything changes.
No, that sounds great. I like the cast.
Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely check it out. The Deuce, 3 seasons. The first episode's about an hour, 20 minutes, something like that. The first episode, the pilot, it's a lot to get through. You don't really get a lot of establishment. You don't like feel like, okay, I know where this is headed. It's kind of just gets you introduced to the characters and kind of shows you the world. But once season 2 starts, it's like from there, it's just like you just want to binge it, find out what happens. Like they set the story early. Yeah.
You had me at adult films and prostitutes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of there's a lot of nudity, adults, films. David Krumholtz is in it too. You guys probably hear me Google him for you. He's in it too, and in the first season, he's like 300 pounds. And then in the second season, which they filmed probably a year later, he lost like all of it. It's like a big transformation. Pretty crazy to see. Let me show you a picture of him the first season here. But his character, Harvey, David Krumholtz, is like the bigwig adult industry director at the time, and he sort of takes Maggie Gyllenhaal under his wing. Maggie Gyllenhaal is like interested in directing, so she and him have a big relationship in the series. So yeah, here's a picture showing like how he changes the first two seasons. Let me show you. Try to expand this.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He goes. Yeah, it's like a big transformation. Yeah.
He was
in,
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Santa Claus. Yep. He was. What was he, like the elf? The main elf?
The elf. Yeah.
Bernard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw he was like pretty big, so he lost all of it.
Yeah, and there's how we remember him when he was younger.
Adam's Family too.
And then here's when he was looking at his dreamy ass face. Young Oscar Isaac there, maybe.
Yeah.
But so he went through that whole transformation. Really good role for him too. Him and Maggie Gyllenhaal is a big relationship in that series. So definitely, I know it flew under the radar. Really, I mean, I knew that it was on, but I tell you definitely go back and watch it. It's a really good series. I've been into that for about 2 weeks now. I've watched probably about a season at a time. They're about 8-9 episodes, each about an hour long. So I always said I wanted to watch it, and I was like, all right, I just need to start this before it just gets thrown into the, forget about it, never watch it. And now I want to watch Treme, which is David Simon's other film from The Wire, or other series, which is supposed to be really good. Takes place in Louisiana. That was on a couple of years. It's had like 4 or 5 seasons, maybe, I think. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I love The Wire. It's good writing. McNulty.
McNulty, yeah. I know, always drunk, always cheating on his wife.
Yeah, is he in The Deuce? The actor that played McNulty?
No, McNulty isn't in The Deuce, no. But a lot of those actors show up. Yep. You recognize them right away. But yeah, like I said, the writing's about second to none. It's really good. And James Franco is likable. Both of his characters, like you root for them. With Vincent and Frankie, even though Frankie's a big fuck up. And at the end of the second season, there's a big thing that happens with one of the pimps and Frankie. So yeah, some shit goes down. But it's interesting because Frankie never looks different. He basically looks how James Franco does now, with like the perfectly like combed hair, like same style. So it's basically like just James Franco playing himself. But then Vincent like totally different, has like long hair, looks very 70s, 80s looking. So yeah, he did a great job. Definitely should have been nominated there. I think he had some stuff going on with the whole Me Too era, so I think that probably didn't help him, but he should have been nominated.
Man, that was wild. No, it sounds really excellent. I'll check it out.
It's definitely you should watch it before too long. You should. HBO, another one of those solid shows. There's so many, it's hard to watch them.
I know. You guys are always like recommending shows, movies. I'm like, man.
There's so many, that's why.
I know. It's hard to keep up on everything.
So some of the new movies that I saw for the first time, I saw Swallow. Have you guys seen that? No, well, it's a IFC movie, and it's about a woman who's addicted to like just swallowing things. Like it's like big body horror almost. But
somebody was talking about this in the podcast I was talking to. Yeah, it sounded really interesting / kind of weird, and
it's really weird. It has like that tone of the movie Raw. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
That was good. Yep.
Yeah, but it starts off with her swallowing a marble, then she swallows a thumbtack, and then batteries, and that's pretty much the movie. It's like you're trying to figure out what's wrong with this young lady. But it's pretty good. I would recommend it. And then I saw The Retched, which is another IFC movie, IFC Midnight. Logan, you would like that movie. Little horror movie, and it's about a boy. He comes across a witch in the town, and it has a pretty good surprise ending.
Cool. Check that out.
And what else did I watch here? I saw Gretel and Hansel finally.
Thoughts?
Pretty good, actually. I know Oz Perkins is the son of Anthony Perkins.
Yep.
Pretty good movie. I like it. I like Oz Perkins. To me, he's a good director, but I think he would be a better cinematographer.
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing missing with Gretel and Hansel was the A24 logo, but it's a beautifully shot movie. And I saw Bad Education with Hugh Jackman.
Oh, that was the HBO film that just premiered?
Yeah.
That was good?
Too.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But all pretty good, actually. I have Blade Runner on this list. I didn't watch Blade Runner. I watched something else. I watched Black AF on Netflix. It's okay. I like Blackish more.
So that's a spinoff from Blackish?
No, it's not a spinoff. It's pretty much the same show. It's Blackish, but they dropped the F word. It's literally the same story almost. The same creator, that's why. I watched something the other day. I can't remember it. Anyways, it must have not been good if I don't remember it. So what have you guys been watching?
I just watched a show called When the Wilderness on Netflix. It's a show in Alaska. I love Alaska and the outdoors. A bunch of 6 couples fly to Alaska, and they're competing against one another to win this house, this cabin in the middle of nowhere in Alaska. And it was really good. It was 6 episodes, 45 minutes long. Highly recommended if you like outdoor stuff. I watched it with Molly. Enjoyed it. Been watching a lot of Shudder. I watched Phantasm last night, the original, from 1979. Angus Scrimm as the tall man. Boy! With a spear, yeah. Still holds up. It's still my favorite Phantasm movie. It's super creepy, and I love Angus Scrimm in the original. It's like when he picks up the casket, he puts it in the car.
Yeah. That was a really cool villain. I loved Angus Scrimm in that role. Tall man.
Yeah, we met him at a convention.
Yeah, before he passed.
In Chicago. And then I watched Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini documentary, really good. How he started off in the Vietnam, photographer, and how he got into makeup and directing and acting. And solid guy. Seems like he's been through a lot of shit, but really good person. Been watching Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs on Shudder, which has been a really good, funny time.
How is that? Is that like him? Is he watching some of the films, like maybe not real popular because of the rights issues, or is he still watching like some of the classics, or is it more?
Yeah, it's classics. I was watching the one of Heathers with Winona Ryder and Christian Slater.
Yeah,
Sucking Freaks and a bunch of cult classics and
cool.
famous and not so famous. But yeah, it's been good.
That's very nostalgic from like Friday Night Monster TV, Monster University.
Monster Vision.
Monster Vision.
Yeah, and he's really insightful on movies, and he knows like behind the scenes, like the making of the movie. It's really informative. I like it. And then 911 on Fox. So
right.
I've been watching.
Rob Lowe, Angela Bassett.
No, not this one. Rob Lowe is the spinoff, which is the one in Texas. This is the one in LA. And it's a bunch of actors from like American Horror Story, Angela Bassett, and some other people. Really good. Highly recommend. It's on Hulu as well.
Speaking of American Horror Story, Ryan Murphy has a new show on Netflix.
Hollywood?
Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that.
Yeah, I've been reading about it. I haven't seen it yet. It's sparked my interest. Want to see it.
He usually makes some good quality stuff. So yeah, I'll be interested to hearing your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Whether I should dive into that. I did hear something negative about it, but that was just one person's opinion, obviously. So
yeah,
I'm not really lend that any credence there. So
for sure, I want to check it out. I'll give it a few episodes.
I just watched the finale of Homeland, aired last Sunday, so I just finally watched that this morning. Pretty good finale for everything. I liked how everything turned out. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but it still worked out kind of how I hoped it would between Saul and Carrie. It was kind of nostalgic, just thinking about how many years it's been on.
Long time.
What was that? Yeah, a long time. So, yeah, it finally got its big send-off. So, Bon Voyage, Homeland. Shameless will be next. It's going off of
the Showtime.
Showtime soon. And Ray Donovan, I don't know. They've been talking about maybe doing more, but I don't know if that's official, or I don't know if that's still going to be a Showtime. But so we got a lot of Showtime show's ending, but I think tonight, we have a new season of Billions, according to my Fire Stick, premieres tonight. I saw an ad for it pop up today. Billions is a big show for Showtime.
We got the new, since Chris is not here, we had the new trailer for the new Assassin's Creed video game. It's about Vikings, which looks fucking awesome. I love Vikings anyways. But I haven't played any Assassin's Creed games in like forever, like 8 years.
I only know the great Michael Fassbender movie.
Yeah. Straight to DVD.
I never watched that. Was it any good?
No, you don't need to watch it. The movie looks like it shot through a glass of urine. They have this weird filter.
Oh, what a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. But the video game trailer just got released, and
it actually looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings,
Huge
I love
franchise, and Vikings is pretty interesting. I've never really played any Viking video games.
Yeah.
I know that universe is pretty awesome. The show Vikings looks, I've never watched it, but it looks like something I'd get into.
Yeah, it's supposed to be phenomenal. So the graphics in the video game look really good. I'm interested. And on May 7th, they're going to be doing a big reveal of the video game for the first time, like actually playing the game.
Yeah. Live stream. Cool.
Yeah, like a live stream on May 7th.
World premiere.
World premiere of the new Assassin's Creed, Valhalla. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Valhalla.
Yeah,
Valhalla.
So. Yeah.
And then also we have Last of Us Part 2 coming out now on June 19th, which is great news, right?
That is good. Yeah, when they delayed it last time, I was kind of worried, but they only really pushed it back about a month, so all's good.
So from what I was reading, they're doing the physical copy and you can do the digital. So
the digital I read is going to be over 100 gigabytes, so clear up some space on your PlayStation 4
100
board.
gigs? Wow, it's massive.
Yeah.
What if you just download it? Is it any smaller?
I think it's 100 gig. Yeah, I think I was reading about the download, but maybe not. I don't know. But it's going to be a big file.
Oh,
Well, my PlayStation 4 is 250 gigs, so that's
So all you have to do
half
really
of it.
just get rid of some of the physical like games on there that you don't play anymore. Your stats and everything are saved and your game data. You can actually get rid of the game on there, but keep all your stuff so you can just reload it later. So just clear up space like that. That's what I usually do. There's some of the games that I'm not playing anymore. I take the actually physical download off there to free up space. But
So what do we got for upcoming reviews and projects, podcasts, things like that?
Well, I just interviewed Ellie Buikaz from Sea Fever.
That was an awesome interview.
Thanks, man. And I heard yours with the director, Nessa
Hardiman.
Nessa Hardiman, yeah.
She's an Irish lady. She had an awesome accent, but yeah, your interview turned out really well. I liked the questions. He seemed like a really cool guy. Like, sounded like he had a great time, making the movie, and it was a pretty cool movie, like for independent.
Oh yeah.
Like Sea Fever.
And then Villain, you sent me the screener for that, which I saw, but Henry, like you, they haven't gotten back to me, so I don't know when they'll get back to me, but I hope they kind of do it soon because there's other stuff we got to do. And the retro reviews too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Yeah, more retro reviews. Got Phantasm coming out and some other. Been watching a lot of old school movies on Shudder, so revisiting a lot of older movies.
Nice.
So I plan on doing this
remember
week.
when Shudder first came out and they didn't have a lot of like well-known stuff. It was more independent, but I've noticed that Shudder's like acquired some more titles from like horror classics and whatnot lately.
It's $5 a month, so I'm gonna keep it for a while.
Yeah,
I watch it. Have a good time with it. A lot of old flicks I haven't seen in 20 years. So
yeah,
good service. They have a lot of good original content too.
Well, for during the week, I'm gonna write a couple more articles, and then I do want to check out some other movies. I want to check out Mary Shelley, the movie on her, the actress, Dakota Fanning's little sister, Elle Fanning.
Ellie.
Elephant, yeah.
Ellie Fanning, yeah. So I'm gonna check that out, and I want to check Rebel in the Rye. It's about the book Catcher in the Rye. So I'm gonna see those two movies for sure.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like good stuff.
Awesome.
No, I'll tell you how it is.
Right on, man. I always like your recommendations. Except that one TV show I haven't watched yet on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Inheritance, like I was saying, and interviewing, I believe, the director for that film. So I'm hoping that they respond to me within the next couple of weeks, so I can get that booked. The Scott Teams episode, or the Scott Teams podcast, where I interviewed him, went up last week, I believe. So you guys can check that out. It's finally up. The Corey was his film, and he's writing on the new Halloween Kills. So we talked about that a little bit. That was a nice conversation. So yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking with the next director. And then I'm gonna this week finish up The Deuce and kind of see where to go from there. I've watched the first 4 of Westworld this season. I think the season finale is on tonight, so I may binge the back half of season 3, and that's been recently greenlit for season 4 for Westworld. So we'll see where it goes. Like I said, it's a big mind trip. Takes a lot. It's kind of emotionally draining and like a draining kind of watch. But I think binging is probably the way to go. And I kind of understand. Like I kind of understand where it's going now. It's kind of all the secrets are unveiled by now. So
It's one of the hardest shows I've had to watch in recent memory.
yeah,
It's just
especially to review.
yeah, it's like I can't put words together to like describe what I watched. You know.
Right. Basically,
Well,
the robots are revolting now, and they're in the current world on the series, which is in the future. So they've revolted. They figured out they've been programmed, you know, since their birth, and their whole lives and worlds were basically a lie. So they're revolting, and they're trying to get back at the creators of Westworld. So we're seeing that in the new season. Aaron
Right on.
Paul has been on that. Yep. So
A show like that is Devs on Hulu on FX.
yeah, I want to check that out. I've heard some good things about that. The whole
I gotta watch the last
life
episode.
simulation, the kind of argument.
It's a mind trip like Alex Garland always does. It's awesome, and it's hard to wrap your mind around it too at the same time. I gotta watch the final episode, so that's on my list of things to review this week. Another show I've been watching pretty consistently since it started. Molly gave it a 4 out of 5 for Devs.
Awesome. All right, hold it up a little bit more. Yep, that's 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
All right.
she enjoyed it.
I
She
definitely
finished
want
it.
to watch it. Doesn't
Yeah.
Nick Offerman have long hair in it?
Yeah, he was like Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. Far out, man. Yeah, he's really good in it, but that's on my agenda.
I finally remembered the other movie that I saw this week. It's a Netflix movie with Jesse T. Usher. Don't watch it. No, really, avoid it like the plague.
It's that bad, huh?
Yeah.
That bad. Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll steer clear, but we will watch Extraction for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I want to check that out.
Oh, yeah.
Interested now, since it's making a lot of headlines and stuff.
So this has been episode 72 of the Cinephellas Podcast. I want to thank my mates, Nile Fortner and Logan Myerz here for joining in on all the fun, letting us know all the movie news, talking about their latest interviews, their latest reviews, everything that's going on in the movie world, besides things that are getting canceled. Let's hope from here on we'll hear some good news moving forward. We're going to get some movies that are going to end up in the movie theaters. Thanks for joining me, guys. I guess until next time for the next Cinephellas Podcast. Well, let's just say.
It's been a pleasure, boys.
It's been a blast, boys. See you next time.
See you boys next time.
Studios, back to you, folks. Cheers.